Yo, what's up, guys? Teacher Paul up here, and we have just finished watching USA versus Germany, and these are the results. Germany 2, USA 1. And I'll tell you, this was an insane match. It was not a friendly, I'll tell you that. They were fighting for, I don't know, bragging rights or something, because this was supposed to be a friendly. This was supposed to be a send off game. This was just supposed to be a training opportunity. But I'll tell you what, the United States had something to prove here. And honestly, I think they're ready. I think they are ready to represent their country in the World Cup because, dang, they played so well. Of course, they lost, but dude, let's look into it. First 2 minutes, USA fumbled a little bit with the ball there. Germany got the opportunity and scored within the first 2 minutes. But hey, don't let that fool you. It was not an easy match for Germany. What came after that was a fight for possession and a very quick game back and forth until the very last few minutes of the first half. 37 minutes in, Anthony Robinson, he kicks, dude, he shoots from outside the area with an absolutely insane first touch volley that didn't even let the ball fall or bounce once. He just shot that from so far outside the area, and that would in. Absolutely amazing, amazing shot from outside the area. What a beautiful goal. And right after that, USA started pushing. They got at least 3 more opportunities over there. Second half starts, USA still is pushing. Germany smartens up, tightens up its defense, and starts, playing around, trying to get into the US offense. And they get there. 57 minutes in, Leroy Sané, from a deflection, is able to hit on the left corner of the goalkeeper, and absolutely a great match. So that was the end of the goal scoring, but honestly, the match it was still exciting because you could see that USA really wanted it. You could see the fans wanted the USA to score. The commentators wanted the USA to score. So I saw kind of like a shift here where people were rooting for the USA more than I have ever seen before. So I feel like there is a shift coming, and the USA is understanding more and more what football really means to the rest of the world, right? I'm not saying you don't know. I'm just saying it felt, from my perspective, that you guys really have something going on with this USA team. And it felt like I was watching South American football when it came to the USA playing. And it wasn't a friendly game, as I mentioned. It was very aggressive, especially towards the end of the second half, where the United States started really, really being physical. And we saw a few yellow cards going left and right. And we saw a lot of tackles, a lot of physical body work. It kind of felt at some point I was actually watching American football. But anyways, it was so entertaining. Let's look at the stats. Here we have Team USA with 12 shots versus 11 shots from Germany. Shots on target from Germany were higher, 5 for Germany and 4 for the USA, which means the accuracy in the German team was a little bit higher, and they scored twice. USA had 51% of possession. They were playing a very tight game. They were passing back, and they were passing back to the goalkeeper. And it's interesting to see how the goalkeepers are playing nowadays. And I blame Neuer. I blame the German keeper Neuer, because I think because he plays very advanced and very, like, he gets outside the area a lot. I think that influenced a lot of goalkeepers to play that way because, dude, these goalkeepers were playing far from their goalkeeper area. They were really going into defensive to help the defenders. So it really interesting to see that. Germany had 49% of possession, and this is what I'm telling you. There were 9 fouls from the USA versus 10 fouls from Germany. And at some point they started pushing each other. The referee had to step in, and I thought that people were going to invade the pitch at some point. I thought it was going to be chaos. And remember, this is a friendly. There's nothing at stake here. It's just a practice send-off match. And I tell you, USA was toe-to-toe with Germany. Germany had a hard time against the USA. I'm telling you, the USA is ready for this World Cup. USA got 1 yellow card versus 3 yellow cards from Germany. Red cards, nobody was sent off, unlike the Portugal versus Chile game where 2 players were sent off right in the beginning of the match. Insane. That match was also really interesting. We had 3 offsides from the USA team, including a few scares. They were playing so offensively, and a few of the good opportunities that the USA had were actually deemed offside. 4 offsides for Germany. Then we have 10 corners for the USA, who seem to be using the corners very, very nicely. And if they manage to be more accurate, I think they can score more versus 2 of Germany. And one thing I had mentioned before, and I didn't mention in this video, but I had mentioned in other videos, Germany has a very tall team. Germany has a lot of header power, and that's how they scored in the first half via header. So it was pretty interesting to see that my prediction of Germany being dangerous in the air was accurate. Let's see how it works in the World Cup. The USA has their next match, I think, a week from now. Let's actually take a look over here together. USA World Cup matches. So we have the USA playing their first match on June 13th versus Paraguay. And then it plays Australia, and then it plays Turkey. So I think this is going to be, it's going to be easy for the United States to go past Australia. And I think it's going to be mid difficulty against Paraguay, but I think they're going to comfortably win these 2. But against Turkey, I think the USA will have a hard time. But then again, the United States was strong against Senegal, and it will be interesting to see them play Turkey. I don't know how it's going to play off, but I was 100% sure that Turkey would annihilate the group. Now I'm not so sure after watching the United States play today against Germany. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Let's look at Germany next match. Germany World Cup matches. In my prediction, I actually have Germany being second in the group because, guys, we can't underestimate anyone. So Germany versus Curacao, that will be on the 14th of June. So it's going to be a week from now. And Germany versus Curacao is going to be an easy match for Germany. I'm sure they're going to pass. Germany versus Ivory Coast. This one, in my prediction, I was so confused, and I didn't know. It could go any way. Ivory Coast is a strong team. They have just won against Spain, which is the number 1 team and the favorite team. And it could go any way. But I did have in my prediction Germany going through against Ivory Coast, especially because they have a good team and they have a tall team. It's going to be interesting. But against Ecuador, I have Germany losing against Ecuador. Ecuador was second in their group, only losing to Argentina. Ecuador is in a very, very good phase. And I think Germany might not have the best luck against South American football when it comes to that. Germany has a very organized style of football, and South American football can be very unpredictable. Sorry, it can be very unpredictable. It can be very aggressive. It can be very offensive, and it could go any way here. But I think Ecuador has the upper hand, especially because of how their campaign went. But anyways, such a great match today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys want more reactions, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Let me know if you think Germany has a great shot in this World Cup to go further than the last two World Cups because they didn't get past group stage. Obviously, I don't think Germany will be eliminated from their group. They will have to lose to USA. They will have to, sorry, they will have to lose to Ivory Coast. They will have to lose to Ecuador, and they will have to lose to Corazon. They would have to lose all three matches to be eliminated from this group. So I do think they will be second place, if not maybe third place. But even so, I'm sure they will go to the next round of 32, which is still better than group stage. And I think USA will go far in this competition, especially because there's a lot of investment going into this. They are in their home turf, and it's a moment to prove that Americans also have that passion for football. So I think they have a lot to prove right now. And I can feel the pride. I sensed the pride with the commentators and with the fans. I think the United States is finally ready to embrace football as the rest of the world do. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.